Coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan on September 21st and 22nd is GrandCon Gaming and Comics Convention, presented by Celebration Cinemas. Join us in playing or chatting it up with fellow enthusiasts in a community that understands your passions. Get lost in the adventure of your favorite role-playing game. Admire costumes and art from vendors and attendees. Meet the creators behind your favorite mainstream and independent games and comic books. Check out unpublished games and sneak peek at things to come. You can get all this and more at GrandCon. For more information, please visit www.grand-con.com.
This week on Off the Cuff, we've got a little bit of Saints Row 4.
A lot about Saints Row 4.
We've got some free-to-play games that I want to talk about because Danner's not here.
Don't care.
And maybe a little bit of reader feedback. Not entirely sure. We'll see
Screw
what
those
happens.
people.
All right. This week on Off the Cuff, as always, I'm your host, Michael Powers. I'm joined by Joe Reed.
Hello.
And by Sean Z. Brown.
Hi.
And as you heard in the intro, Danner is not here.
Yay!
I guess since he does it to you, you can do it to him.
Oh, he does it? Oh my god. Like, I don't even know if I want to listen to the ones that I'm not on anymore.
Yeah, he gets a little excited when you're not on the show.
He gets very excited when I am on the show, though. Grrr.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, he may or may not be joining us later on. Not entirely sure. But
Sure. Pull out that fishing line, why don't you?
Yeah, so let's jump right into this. Shanzi, since you were absent, why don't you tell us why you like Saints Row 4?
Because it's like Saints Row 3, but fourier. No, anybody who likes Saints Row, sorry, will like this game. It's probably the best thing I've seen so far is I believe your wife said, "Hey, it's like Saints Row 3, but with Crackdown."
It
did,
is, but she's not saying it as enthusiastically as you are. And there, after her, I've seen a lot of comments that people aren't taking to Saints Row 4 as enthusiastically as you are because of the way that how it just feels like a $60 DLC add-on, which that's how it was. Well, see, that's how it started.
That's how it started. Enter the Dominatrix was going to be the DLC, the last DLC for the last game, but then all that stuff was happening with HQ. I think they saw it coming, so they're like, let's just push it into the next game.
So as a result, one of the reasons, real quickly here, one of the reasons my wife doesn't really care for it is because it's a lot, like the map and everything is the same as it was in Saints Row 3. So she doesn't have, there's no feeling of exploration for her, I guess. But I
will give her that the exploration gone, but the traversal is so much fun.
What I did bring up with her last night, because she played Saints Row 3, I think, like when it came out. Mm-hmm. And then she recently played through Saints Row 3 again.
As did I.
And I asked her, I said, would you have such a negative opinion of Saints Row 4 if you hadn't just played Saints Row 3? Like, if you were far enough removed from knowing where stuff was and being in that world, would it feel fresh to you? And she kind of thought that maybe that would have helped if she hadn't just replayed it. But because she just replayed it, she's not as receptive to it as she was hoping she would be. In fact, she
Yeah.
went back to replaying the
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed games. But why do
Yes,
you
she
like
told
it,
me that.
Shanzi?
I haven't played co-op yet. I'm strictly playing on a single player right now. I think co-op in that game has the potential to be very, very fun. Haven't tried it yet.
Oh, wait, if I can say one other thing, try to remain as spoiler free as possible. 'Cause
I
know
will.
there's
I'm not going to say anything story wise
because I
nothing.
know there's a listener that has not had a chance to play it. That
Okay, I won't say anything story wise. I will throw out a couple of Easter eggs, but they have nothing to do with the story.
okay.
Okay. But it's definitely fun. Once you get, obviously, anyone who's seen a trailer for this game, you get superpowers. More along the, I would say more closer to prototype to anyone who played it, especially with the traversing,
Like the running up the side of the buildings.
running up the side of the buildings. You do like a little glide.
But the glide thing, that was in Crackdown.
Well, no, it's not like Crackdown where you have to keep going up and down and up and down. It's not like that.
Wow.
You can glide if you get enough. It all depends on your forward speed and how high you jump when you trigger the glide.
Okay.
And you get some pretty interesting other powers, like blasts of different kinds, telekinesis. It's all in the trailers. Basically like a ground stomp. You eventually get a power that's not spoiling much or anything, but you like jump in the air and you hold a button and you'll stop midair and a crosshair will come down on the ground and you fly straight to the ground like Superman style in a crater.
That's I've seen
And
that. In
the higher you jump, the higher up you are from the ground, the more damage you do.
No, can you
Destructible environments to any degree?
No, Saints Row is never about it. I mean, except for people and cars. But
Can you imagine Saints Row 4 in like Earth
Oh my
Defense
God.
Force?
if I could take down buildings
In Earth Defense Force.
at the
style.
end of my play sections, there would be no city though.
Right.
It would just be like a flat map.
Well, that's how Earth Defense Force was.
Yeah, but it takes but you can't fly and do all the crazy stuff you can in
Except for you can take down a building with one rocket in Earth Defense Force.
Anyways, enough about Earth Defense Force. Anyways, about 10 minutes into the game, I instantly fell in love with it. Not because like you said, it's essentially, with the exception of a few added things, it's the exact same city. In Saints Row the Third, if you want to customize a gun, say you have the whatever pistol, the only way to customize it really is to upgrade it, and it changes how it looks. If I upgrade the clip capacity, the clip gets bigger. If I upgrade the damage, the barrel gets bigger, or stuff like that. Now you can actually basically put a different skin on the gun, make it look like a different gun.
Okay.
And so the one pistol, I looked at, I'm like, what is this customization thing? So I looked down, I'm like, oh, that's cool. You can make it look like a badass Magnum revolver. And then I go down on the next selection. It was called the Captain, and it's Captain Malcolm's gun from Firefly.
Oh, awesome.
Right? And under the thing, it says, I aim to misbehave.
So is
and
it like the flavor text from Borderlands?
Kinda. And then like you go down to the same Malcolm Reynolds gun, but it's really shiny. It's like a shiny metallic color instead of like that dull color. And it goes, oh, shiny underneath it.
Okay.
Then you can flip over to like there was a different pistol, and you can make it look like Han Solo's pistol. Doesn't change how the gun works at all. Only changes how it looks.
Does it shoot lasers?
Kind of, yeah. It'll change what the shots look like. Does the same amount of damage, acts the same amount of way. If it's fully automatic weapon, still fully automatic, stuff like that. You can also, I think it's called the Red Shirt Special, and you get like an old like Star Trek original series phaser.
Nice.
Huh.
Oh, there's tons of stuff like that. Like my submachine gun looks like the RoboCop pistol.
Your submachine. Okay.
There's a submachine because you know how he has a fully automatic pistol.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, because it's basically you take what would be a really weak, fast shooting machine gun and you put the skin on of RoboCop's gun. So it's still fully automatic, doesn't change anything, just looks like his gun, and it makes that same noise whenever you shoot it that it does from the movie. That like really mechanical noise.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff was just really cool. Like excuse me.
Have you used
my
the abduction gun?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't yet, and it looks really cool.
I saw
haven't-
videos of that. That looked like fun.
There's like the special weapon category. That's where they'll have like in the last game they had like radio controlled drones and stuff like that. That's where all the crazy guns that you see in the commercial are. There's the abduction gun. There's the dubs or the wub gun.
Is that what it's called?
You shoot it and it makes people dance to dubstep.
I saw that.
There's the inflator array. Their heads blow up like balloons and then pop.
Now the abduction gun, for anyone that doesn't know, you fire that at the ground, and anything that gets trapped in it gets sucked into the air like an alien abduction.
Yes. Yep.
And apparently it will pick up objects like cars too.
Oh yeah. There's the black hole gun. It shoots like a black hole, and anything close gets sucked into it. Anything that touches the black hole instantly gets disintegrated.
Can you kill yourself with the black hole gun?
It'll pull you a little bit, but when it ends, anything that didn't get sucked in gets thrown out, and those things can definitely kill you.
Nice.
Because I took myself out with a semi tractor trailer. It's like the front end of it hit me right in the face. Like right now, my assault rifle looks like the gun from Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that like rail gun.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that horrible movie.
I have not seen that movie. I'm aware of the gun, but I've not seen the movie.
That's a shitty movie that like half the people that play this game won't even understand. But when you see it, it doesn't say what movie it's from. It just has it. It has, I think the text is "You have been erased" or something. But it has a ton of little stuff like I saw it online. Has nothing to do with the story. If you go through the story, you'll never find this. But there's one. The gun shops in the game are called Friendly Fire.
Yes.
There's one shop. If you go into it, there's a door in the back, and if you shoot the door, it opens, and you can walk in and get the noisy cricket from Men in Black.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. When you shoot it, it knocks your guy over. It throws your guy back.
Oh, so
you can shoot it. Oh yeah,
it's not modeled off of Tommy Lee Jones handling it.
No, it's modeled from Will Smith. Definitely, it throws you back, but and it recharges, so you never have to run out of ammo. But it recharges really slowly. Every shot takes 25% of its power, but every shot, whatever is even close to it, you have to hold it on it for a second. But it'll take out like anything in an intersection is gone.
Does it chirp when it's charging up?
I don't know. It's just I always hear the loud explosion from the shit exploding, so it may chirp, but like they can't call anything what it really is, so they call it the tiny pistol.
But that doesn't mean that you can't make it sound like it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it does though. I'll have to check that out. And of course I have the dildo sword is back, and you can get a blue version. It's called something the Doctor, and it's like who watches the watch people or something, and it's a giant blue penis. It's supposed to be Dr. Manhattan's cock. Like I can't remember what the flavor text says, but it's like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, it looks like, oh my god, it is his dick. But definitely lots of fun. It's never been a serious game. It's a good goof around game.
Did you play part 1?
I've played all of them.
Okay.
The first one is not. If you take the first one and played it next to the third one or the fourth one, those games are completely different. The first one is way more serious. I mean, there's still some funny parts, but it's way more intense and serious than the others.
Way more trying to be Grand Theft Auto.
Yes, exactly. And then when they did 2, they were kind of more like, maybe we should step away from this realism.
Well, I think
if GTA is going to go crazy realistic and let you bowl and stuff, and then for number 2, they actually made fun of GTA 4.
Yeah, I think that
all their ads were you could go bowling with your friend, or you could throw your friend in front of a speeding train. And then the third one went completely batshit insane, and now the fourth one is nuts. There's no part of the game that's any kind of serious, and they actually make fun of Mass Effect in that game too, which I thought was really funny. Because spoiler alert, anyone who's seen a trailer knows it's all like a Matrixy type thing. Yeah, that's why your guys superpowers. It says it in the trailers.
Did you have sex with all your crew members?
So far, including the robot, like orb guy.
I saw that video.
Yeah, buddy. They make fun like in Joe. Have you ever played Mass Effect?
I played almost got through part 1.
Okay, you know how you can romance characters.
Yeah.
You spend the entire game like hitting on them and flirting with them and stuff. In this game, you can walk right up to them and it says romance them. You hit the button, and your guy will instantly have sex with them. Like the one girl, it's like, hey, you want to fuck? And it's like, sure. She punches you in the face, then jumps on you. The one, I forgot what the orb says. Something along the lines of he has special programming or something to make you feel good, and then all of a sudden he disappears. He goes like below your waistline while your guy's hands raise up over his head.
Yeah. Yep.
There's like the one girl. She's like a super spy agent lady, and basically you have like a discussion with her about how she gets to be on top. But it's a really funny game. If you take that game trying to be serious, you're missing the point of that game. It's all about craziness and lunacy and what the hell am I doing moments.
You know, I tried playing Saints Row 3.
Mm-hmm.
I played it a few times with Jason, and I don't care. And that's one of the things that kind of worries me about like even Grand Theft Auto 5 is that I don't know, maybe
That's just not your kind of game.
it used to be though. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't like
Times have left you behind, Gramps.
Well, it's like okay, I didn't like the seriousness of GTA 4, but I'm not a huge fan of like the clownishness of
Saints Row.
Yeah. I like some sort of middle ground there. Like I love Vice City. Like I just think there was like a nice little middle ground there because it was set in like, you know, fictional Miami, and there was like neon colors and like, you know, the 80s music, and
it was, you know, Miami Vice.
Right. And I just feel like that was kind of cheeky and fun, and but it never got like, you know, there's no poo cannon or like
is there
flying,
oh,
like
you mean the
toilet.
Septic Avenger? Yeah.
Or like a flying toilet mod.
Oh, you don't need the mod. It just happens.
Well, that makes it even better.
I think that the Saints Row series is going toward and maybe this is primarily why I can't get into it. It's going for and sorry, Sean, I know you like it. A very juvenile sense of humor.
Yeah, buddy.
I can't laugh at that anymore because I don't know. But what I've always liked about the Grand Theft Auto series was that it generally takes itself seriously, kind of, but a lot of the humor in it is satirical or commentary on how we live our lives now. I was playing through Grand Theft Auto 4 not too long ago. The technology in that and the satire that they wrap around like the internet cafes, it's starting to be obviously dated. Like, wow, we don't do this kind of stuff anymore. But the humor was there for what it was. Twat, the internet cafe, TW @ I mean, it's juvenile, but it's clever in that way. And I think that's something that's missing from the Saints Row series is, yeah, it's fine if it's bonkers. And I like the way Prototype you could traverse the universe, and putting that into a Grand Theft Auto-esque type game is neat, but I need that satire to be there, or something to give me a reason to have to consume that type of humor.
Or just find a game that allows you to have those powers that doesn't need that humor, like Infamous, or, you know, God forbid someone plays Prototype.
Who would do that? I played the first one all the way through.
Yeah, that's because you couldn't play Infamous.
Yeah.
I can't play Infamous either, so I should try Prototype. Is that what?
No.
No, Infamous is the superior game.
Yeah, okay. When before they came out, they looked kind of like, it was like Infamous, because when Infamous before it was released, Infamous was supposed to be on both. Early advertisements
Infamous was never on both.
Oh, they maybe not paper ones, but on all the websites they were saying it was going to be for both.
Infamous was always a Sucker Punch PS3 title because Sucker Punch works with Sony. It
Yeah.
was never. It would never.
I came damn near close to pre-ordering that game on 360
Yeah.
from GameStop.
Because GameStop is retarded. I've gone in there and asked for PlayStation exclusive games, and they asked me if I wanted it on 360.
Anyways, but when I found out I couldn't play that game, I saw the stuff for Prototype, and I'm like, oh, this game's okay, superhero in a big city, cool. But Prototype, there's like no story. It's horrible. I mean, there is, but it's stupid. But a couple down things I will say about Saints Row is once with the traversal, being able to sprint up buildings and glide and jump for a block or two, and then jump for a couple blocks and then glide for a dozen more blocks. It makes cars and stuff along that obsolete. I almost never use them. You can run faster than cars, and if I'm sprinting on the road, any car I hit bounces off me like I'm super speeding through it, so that I don't even have to steer.
Now, okay, isn't that's kind of the same problem you have with Crackdown?
Yeah, I don't get what
or anything that has like superpowers in it.
Yeah, once you get high enough leveled up in your superpowers, it becomes obsolete to use those other things. But the problem is with unlike Crackdown, like with Saints Row, you get offensive powers. So the guns almost become, unless you really like using the guns, which I do, the guns almost become pointless too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when I can throw a fireball that will kill 15 guys in one hit, and every time they die from being on fire, they explode and light more people on fire, why would I bother with a shotgun? Why would I, try to actually kill them with weapons when I can do this amazing stuff by myself?
Well, yeah,
which makes it all the more jarring when you go into. There are certain missions where you're going into someone else's world, not your own, like another in-game character. You don't have superpowers in those instances. So if you've spent all your time getting used to the superpowers, you almost forget how to play the game not. Like, oh, I actually have to dodge guys now. I can't just jump or super speed away. It's like, oh, God, I actually have to pay attention and crouch and aim, and it's almost jarring for a second. Like, you have to almost remember how to play the game before you had superpowers. Which is weird considering the last 3 were like that.
It sounds like I might like it. Like the superpower aspect makes me think that I might like 4 better than 3 because
possibly. I mean,
because I like the open world games where it's not the running and
it's co-op.
I mean, even though like it comes down to. Even though, like, most open world games, like, even Infamous comes down to running and gunning. You're just shooting people with lightning bolts versus guns.
Yeah.
There's still something I'm not shooting a gun at people. Makes
it different?
I think it does. Like, some part of my brain says, I'm firing lightning bolts. I'm not shooting bullets at some guy. So. And
there's basically agility orbs in the game.
Yeah. So let's
They're
rip off...
called nodes.
Let's rip off Crackdown. And
yes,
Infamous.
Because no other game has ever had collectibles.
I know. Well, someone on Twitter said they're okay with Saints Row becoming the airplane equivalent of the video game world.
Yeah,
where it's just parodies of all the other games.
Oh yeah, it totally makes fun of a bunch of other games.
So,
and you can dress like Boba Fett. So how is that not amazing?
How far are you into the game, do you think?
Main story wise, I would say I'm damn near the end, but I think I'm only at like 42% total completion. There are, just with other games, tons of side quests and side missions, and now in this one they've added co-op specific ones that are made to be played with more than one person. I haven't tried those yet. Like I said, I haven't tried co-op yet.
Well, I'm not going to be able to help you out with that. So
I know you're not. You jerk. Well, even though she has the game and it's right there.
No, she has it on the PS3, so we can't.
Oh,
help
did
you
she?
Out. Yeah,
Aww.
she has been getting herself ready for the transition.
Well, that game I didn't mind buying on Xbox anyways.
Well, she took the opinion of well, one, she wanted to get used to the controller, which is why she started playing the Assassin's Creed games again.
Mm.
And then the other thing is she didn't want to turn on her PlayStation 4 and start playing online with people and have zero record of her being a gamer because she doesn't have any trophies or anything like that. So she was like, okay, since she
That's
likes
how mine's gonna be when I flip over. I have this
but you
mildly
have-
impressive gamer score on Xbox.
Yeah, but you have Weapon 87 though. You still have that username is
Yeah,
still there.
but
for
there's
you.
not much on there.
Well, but you
There
still have a
hardly.
history of it. And she had
Oh.
nothing. So she and she wanted to replay the Assassin's Creed games, so she started playing Assassin's Creed 2, which is now funny because I now own 3 copies of the Ezio trilogy. Because she wanted to play, the Ezio trilogy and 3 again to get all the trophies for them, or as
Yeah.
many trophies as she can before she got her PS4. And I had lent my friend John Brotherhood and Revelations when he was here for Christmas.
Mhm.
And she's like, I want to play those. And then we were at Best Buy and they have like the Ezio trilogy on one disc for $30.
Wow.
So she bought it.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
went ahead and
well-
bought it again.
Yeah, now that because they're getting ready for the next ones, they're basically doing their.
Well, here,
Remember
catch
her
up
old
with the
game?
story.
Exactly.
Well, no, the Ezio
Even though you don't have
trilogy's-
to.
The Ezio trilogy's been out since a little bit after Revelations came out.
Yeah, but not for $30.
It was like a $30 or $40. It was never $60. It was never 60
I thought it was.
bucks.
I thought it started out at like $49.99.
Well, it's
I
still
thought
not
it
a
started
$60 game.
That's a $50 game. That's close enough.
But you're getting 3 games instead of 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, she went ahead and bought it again. She's been playing through that. And then Saints Row, I asked her, I said, do you want to get it on, do you want to get it on the 360 or do you want to get it on the PS3? And she wanted to work on the trophies again, so she got it for the PS3.
Test. Now does she have any friends in there to actually play the game with?
No. Well,
No.
I mean, she could friend up with Jason because Jason has it, and Jason's also another person. He hasn't said one way or the other whether he enjoys it, but he finds Allie's criticisms interesting. He hasn't said he agrees yet, but I don't know.
Oh,
how
I
far he
totally
is
get
with
what
it.
she's saying. I totally understand that. Being as I just probably within the last month rebeat Saints Row 3
So does it
just cuz.
does that make you? Do you really think? Now, here's the question: is there really enough content, given that they reused? They built off of basically they built off of Saints Row 3 because it was originally planned as DLC, right? Do you
Mhm.
feel like there is enough new content to justify the $60 game?
Yes. It does feel like the same exploration because of the city,
Okay,
but they add there's these for exploration needs, what have you. There's these towers. Think of them like agency towers from Crackdown,
okay,
but there's like 5 of them.
okay.
So there's the city itself is the same, but everything else about the city, like every activity got a new spin because superpowers apply to everything. Like I don't know if you ever saw her do insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine that, but you'd be able to throw yourself 4 blocks.
Okay, now hold on. So you're saying that a flashy skins, a reshuffling of the side quests, and 5 new towers justifies $60.
Oh, it's definitely not a
Because-
reshuffling of the side quests
Well-
though. All of this activities, they're all new because you have all these new toys to play with. So
But you're
Is
just
the city asset the same? Did they?
they literally took the city itself.
and
The
reskinned it.
landscape, the map is the same. They added some destruction here and stuff there.
I mean, okay,
But it's
so
essentially the same game. This essentially the same city.
look at it this way, okay? Ubisoft just did this with Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon,
Mhm.
right? They put a new skin on it with new guns, new textures, new enemies, new missions. $15. Do you really think?
Yeah, but isn't that game only like 4 hours long?
because that's what? But so you're saying the like I just to me it's the same thing. Like how do I don't understand nothing that you've told me because it's based off of it's essentially what I'm hearing. It's a reskin of 3. I don't see how it's just like it's with the added superpowers. That for the
All of
most
the-
part break the game. because they used the same
No,
map. They didn't
they don't.
reimagine anything.
They don't break the game. It's just you learn to play the game a completely different way. There's definitely challenging enemies, and there's stuff that's still challenging. You play a new way and forget how to play the old way.
Again, I'm an outsider here, but just like listening to you, what you've said and what Ali said, and the fact that it's essentially what it is a skin. It feels a little weird to play, especially when you know how it started. Like $60 for this game seems a little steep for me.
No, I would compare.
But you're a fan.
Yeah. No, would easily compare this to Saints Row the Third though, when it first came out. Because with the exception of the city changing, Saints Row 2 and 3 were almost the same game. All of the side quests were exactly the same.
But
the guns were almost exactly the same.
But you were paying for slightly different. I don't know. You're paying for them to develop an entirely new city with an entirely new set of rules. I mean, it's not.
Oh, the rules were the rules were always the same from 2 to 3.
I guess I don't know. Because it's just a skin, and you know that it starts as you know that it was planned DLC.
Yeah, well, that's where the whole you being in computer simulation started. Yeah.
So I mean, it just sounds like the stuff that I don't know that the stuff that they added on, like the presidential stuff, that they added on to make it its own like story versus like DLC. I don't know that in my mind that does not add $40 to the cost of a game.
Oh, if it was just that, I would totally agree with you.
Like,
but I'm having infinitely more. Like, I've played every DLC for every Saints Row game that's ever come out, and I am definitely getting way more fun and time out of this game than I would if it was just a DLC added to 3.
But you don't
infinitely more.
But you don't really see how that the city being revamped, being a skin, and the superpowers being added on couldn't have been DLC to the third one for $15. Like you're
I think they could have. They could have added superpowers and stuff to the Saints the Third, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would have been anywhere near what this game is.
But are you saying that because of the story that they framed it in, or are you saying that because it's essentially the same game? Like you're okay paying $45 more to have it on its own separate disc versus $15 for a downloadable skin?
It wouldn't have been if it was this game with whatever. It would have never been a $15 DLC. It would have been like a $40 expansion.
Even that's better than $60.
I don't know. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I've already gotten my $60 easy out of this game, and like I said, I'm 42% done.
All right, fair enough.
Total completion. Let's take that, bitch.
Yeah, I'll take it. Fine, I'll take it. At least you were willing to have a conversation.
Of course. When do I not? I always speak. I never shy away from talking, sir.
I guess we can.
Joe. Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Yes,
I'm all right, man.
Do you have anything you want to contribute, Joe?
No, except that I'm a Grand Theft Auto guy and can't wait for 5. When I start playing 5, I will have tons to talk about.
Man, I am so conflicted about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Tell me 3-player co-op and I'll pre-order that game tomorrow.
It's not though, and
I know.
And even if it was 3-player co-op, Shanzi, no one's playing it on 360.
I know. I'm saying I would pre-order it. I wouldn't.
See,
I wouldn't pre-order on. I have games pre-ordered for PlayStation 4. I don't have PlayStation 4 pre-order yet.
My whole problem is with Grand Theft Auto 5 is that it's so close to the end of the generation, and the visuals of it. While people have been shown the game on like the PS3 and the 360, and it's coming to the PC. I have this feeling that between the time that Grand Theft Auto 5 launches and the time that the GTA Online comes out is officially available, I have a feeling that they're going to announce the next gen version. And I don't really want to. I don't know that I want to spend the $60 for that and then have them turn around and announce a next gen version. And even at that point, with with Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed 4 and Infamous Second Son coming in February, I don't really know that I want another open world game thrown in the mix. And
I think if Grand Theft Auto ends up being multi-platform, that the next platform, the PS4 version of it, won't be that different in content. There may be, you might get an expansion with it. It might have a slightly higher frame rate and a slightly higher resolution.
You're saying it'll
But
be ported to the PlayStation 4?
oh yeah,
pretty much?
just exactly like King Kong was when the
Oh
360
god,
came
I
out.
remember
see,
that.
here's the thing though, like that I would expect the port because the okay, this is the argument that I make, because I would expect the port to come from the PC version, not the PS3 going to the PS4,
Because the architecture is too different.
yes, the architecture from PC to the PlayStation 4 are very similar, so it'd be an easy port. It would be an easy port path, and I think that in a game, one of the weird things is, and it's you might obviously I have not seen the game like hands on. None of us have seen the games hands on, but one of the things I'm kind of concerned with right now is whether like what, and I haven't heard anybody talk about how the game performs. The videos look solid, but they're not. I haven't seen anyone from a gameplay perspective. I've seen the cinematics that they keep showing, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering like because frame rate and screen tearing and really good textures became a thing for me in the last like 2 years. Like it really that determined what version of a game that I bought. Like, did I buy Tomb Raider on on the 360 or the PS3? Like, sometimes I waited for Digital Foundry to do like their I can't their head to head thing where they compared the two versions and said which one which one was
This
the
one has better graphics. This one
well
has this problem. This one has this one problems.
well yeah it was kind of like they'd be like the 360 has like a solid 30 frames per second frame rate and the PS3 is like all over the place, and it was kind of like I used that as a resource to so I would play the lesser of two evils, because I wanted to get the best experience I could possibly get for certain things, which is one of the reasons why I have Far Cry 3 on the 360 over getting it on the PS3, um, because the port path for those was a lot better, and I just I can't I can't stress enough, like in certain instances high resolution textures, especially with games like we talked about last week with Gone Home. High resolution textures cannot be undervalued, um especially after playing that game. It added so much, being able to read like labels on like cereal boxes, and seeing the labels on the spine of all the videotapes that the family had recorded on, and what their labels were and stuff like that. That stuff can't be undervalued, and obviously Grand Theft Auto isn't that same thing, but it can be. And if I have the difference of playing Grand Theft Auto at like a solid 30 frames per second versus like it's kind of like playing Assassin's Creed, right? Assassin's Creed 3, when I'm running around on the floor with everybody else, the frame rate's between like I don't know 20 and 30 frames a second, and then when I'm climbing up a building, it's like 60 frames a second because they didn't frame lock it. It was that was jarring to me. I noticed that stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of like the minute that I get my PS4, my PS3 is coming unhooked. That is what's coming out of the entertainment center. It's not my 360, it's the PS3 that's coming out. And I want to, if I would buy that game, I'd still want to be able to play it, and I'm not going to hook my PS3 back up just to play it. So, and I want to wait and see if I'm right, if they do announce it for the PS4 and the Xbox One, because why not? It's just more money.
I don't think that the PC port will be here before next year.
Well, even then, they could still announce it for next gen next year.
Yeah, it'll be next year, but
Or everything could come sooner too. Who knows? I mean, everything's up in the air right now. And I understand why they don't announce it right now, because they want to be able to sell as much as they can in September.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you'd have a whole bunch of people that would probably hold off for the quote unquote better version.
Yeah. So their numbers would look horrible to start with.
Yeah. And I don't think Rockstar would be one of the people to jump on that $10 upgrade plan that Sony and Microsoft have going on.
Okay, the next Rockstar game I'm excited for is probably whenever they announce the next Red Dead game, which there better be.
I'm still waiting for them to come up with that game that they're working on for Sony.
Have they even said what it is?
I can't remember what it's like, Agent or something like that. Yeah, it's Agent. It's just called Agent. It was announced for like the PS3 like 4 years ago. It's
Guy
kind
just
of
walks around going, "Mr. Anderson, welcome back." Like,
it's kind of up there. I guess people that like the Ico and the Shadow of the Colossus. It's kind of like the Last Guardian for people that like Rockstar games.
yeah.
It's like, where is Agent? It was announced like 5 years ago. Why haven't we seen it yet? But Sony insists that it's still being worked on. So
I always get scared when games are being worked on for that long. They never turn out like you hope. Like right now, I almost hope that Half-Life 3 does never come out. Whatever it is.
They're not even working on Half-Life 3, are they?
Who knows?
Well, okay, there's been a lot of stuff flying around the internet like the last month or so about Half-Life 3 because they are working on Left 4 Dead 3.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody was able to hack into some like software tool or database that developers or like businesses use to track documents and stuff across, I don't know, multiple like places of business.
Yeah.
And they cracked valves, and there was references to like Half-Life 3 like in there. So like some part of Valve is rumored to be working on Half-Life 3. But the problem is Valve doesn't need to release Half-Life 3. They're making money hand over fist with Steam, and they have like Team Fortress 2 is free to play.
Which is still got to be making them good money.
Yeah, people like to
With all
buy
that
hats.
Hats. I need to buy a hat. I need to wear a hat on top of my hat.
The Pull Bag is the GCRN's place for everything you need in the comic book world. We focus on new and current comics, while also tackling a few back issues here and there. So join the entire GCRN crew and see what issues the hosts have with today's panels. You can find the Pull Bag on iTunes and geekcastradio.com. Make your great escape into comics.
Speaking of free-to-play games, though...
Nice segue, sir.
I have been playing World of Tanks on the PC, and I tried the 360 beta. And I have been playing...
Which would you say is better?
Right now, the PC one.
Is it... Now, when you're on PC, do you play with mouse and keyboard? Do you plug in the 360 controller?
I play with a mouse and keyboard.
Which do you think is a better adaptation? Mouse, keyboard, controller?
Well, here's the thing. On the PC, like it works. I don't feel like the controller for the computer for the 360. I don't feel like the controller layout for the 360 beta is good. I feel like it's very clunky.
Are the buttons mappable in the beta?
I didn't look. Like on the PC, it feels very much like you're playing a first-person shooter, but you're controlling a tank. Right, you aim.
Tank's the body.
Yeah, you aim with the mouse, and the turret turns wherever you are, and that's it. And then you use the WASD keys to move. So W is forward and S is backwards, and the A and D turn your tank. For some reason, something about that does, and it's basically that exact same thing on the 360, except where in a first-person shooter on the 360. When you hit left or right, you strafe left or right. You sidestep, right? Well,
not so much in tank.
No, because it's still turning left or right. You are turning the tank left or right. And then you push up and you go forward. And it doesn't... The fact that there's like... It's not just up and down on the directional pad, that you can angle it, doesn't really translate very well.
To a tank.
Because like, you kind of want to you want to like push it off in like in a diagonal direction, and the tank doesn't want to move
because it wants to go forward and then slightly turn left.
Yes,
not start off going slightly left.
Yeah, or it doesn't want to. If I remember correctly, it didn't want to turn the tank and then move forward. I feel like it would move. The whole thing would move a lot better if it was like the tank would already turn for you. Like it only recognizes forward and back and turning the tank left or right. So if I hit diagonal, it it will try and go forward, or whichever one you're leaning more towards, that's the direction it tries. It'll either try to go forward or it'll try to turn the tank. I feel like if you just pointed the damn thing in a direction, that the tank should just try and drive in that direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Like the Warthog on Halo. Go that way.
Right. So like if you were to hit diagonal, the tank would turn until you lined up with that your treads lined up in that direction, and then it would just start driving in that direction at like full speed. I feel like that would work a lot better. The aiming is fine, but then again, you're spinning the turret, so I don't know. It just feels kind of wonky with a controller.
Now, I don't know if I asked you this before. When your screen, what you see on your screen, are you seeing like a third person view of the tank?
It is a third person view, but you can do like a sniper mode where you zoom in.
But when you zoom in, you lose all sense of what's around the tank.
Yes, pretty much. You end up being in the tank, and you get your little crosshair bars and your little altimeter thing or whatever to show you distance, stuff that I never use. I just point my crosshairs at.
So basically, it looks like you're looking through a periscope.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And you can still drive in that mode if you choose to.
God, who would do that?
Well, sometimes you do, like if you're trying, like they have tanks that, they don't have the cannon is not turreted, so it cannot spin in 360 degrees.
So you have to point the tank to where you want to shoot?
Right, you point the tank to where you are. And like what's really annoying is that the thing they operate on crosshairs. So if you use an artillery tank, one of the nice things is if you switch to the sniper mode, you're no longer looking, you don't get the point of view of the tank out the barrel. You get an aerial view of the battlefield. And
because it's artillery, it shoots in an arc.
Right. And so you get you get a crosshair that you can move around like all over the map. And it turns, like if it's green, it means that you can hit whatever is there. But if it's red, that means there's probably something like a building that's impeding the path of the bullet, or the tank is on lower terrain and you can't quite get it. But what'll happen is you'll settle on a spot, and this ring of dots will slowly get smaller, and that's like your accuracy. So like if you chose to fire before the ring was all the way tightened, the shell would hit anywhere inside of that ring, right? And when you're trying to aim and you're tracking a target, because you kind of want to lead them, if you move too far and the tank has to reposition itself, your ring
circle gets wide.
The ring goes back out and it has to start all over again. But if you can keep the tank moving, like turning, before the turret hits the edge of its movability, its range of motion, then the target won't reset. So, but outside of the control setup, it's identical. I think it looks a little better on my 360 than it does on my computer, because it's optimized. The 360,
it's the newer version too, right?
So. Well, but that's the thing. It's always being updated, and my computer has better hardware in it than my 360 does. But I think the optimization of it is such that it just looks better on the 360.
Plus, they probably figure if they get it on 360, they'll probably get more people.
That's what their goal is, because I don't think it's coming to the Xbox One. They're going after the live market that's on 360. It's free to play on both systems. There is no disc to buy. Now the wall, I have not spent any money on World of Tanks. There is a nice little upgrade path. There are 10 levels of tanks across like 5 countries. There's like American, England, German, Russian, and Chinese. And there's like a bunch of different tanks in each one, and you have to like max out a tank in one. You have to max out one tank before you can unlock the tank after it.
So if I have the smallest, dinkiest tank, until I can buy the next tank, I have to max this one out.
Yes.
This one's got to be the most badass it could possibly be, and then it's like, oh, here's this one.
But the nice thing about it is, usually that tank, when you're done leveling it up, is as good as the tank that you're going to buy to start.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I don't like about the only thing I don't like about World of Tanks is that when you're in the game, there's no way to know how well you're doing Like it tells you when you've destroyed a target, but it doesn't tell you like what the experience value is for destroying a target.
Oh, is
So-
the experience the same for everything?
No, like because you can get experience for like spotting guys, which I don't know how to do. You can get experience for killing guys, for damaging guys, for because your tanks don't
Finishing
just,
someone off, but you're helping out a friend, or-
right. And the really cool thing about it is you can't, just because you can see guys on the map, like you might not, you can see guys on the map that you wouldn't be able to see. Like if someone's in your line of sight, you can see them, but if they're not in your line of sight, you can't. But if one of your buddies is like on the other side, like adjacent to you, and they can see them, then you can see that tank too. Because
Now, is
like,
it just
radio
Do you see
communication?
Do you see like an outline of the tank or something?
Yes, you'll see an outline of
Something
the
to
tank.
let you know that you do not have line of sight on this tank.
Yes. You'll see an
Okay.
outline of the tank, and then on the map, you'll see like a red dot saying that they're there. But that's because he can see them and they're radioing over to you.
Okay, so it's kind of like Battlefield when you spot somebody.
Yes, except the game does
I
it
can-
automatically.
Yeah.
And you can, and what a lot of people end up doing is like you'll get like guys that use the artillery things, and then you'll have someone that has like a really good radio, and they'll go out and kind of sit in a bush, because when you're in a bush, you're a little more camouflaged. They'll go out and sit in a bush, and then there'll be another wave of guys that go out in front of him that kind of, and they use that other guy as like a relay.
Okay.
So, that
So
you've
they're
got-
basically calling back to the guy in the bush. He's calling back to the artillery guy who is not really moving, but is crazy accurate
yes,
and shoots long distances.
yes, exactly.
I can't see him. Who he's behind this barn. Okay, bang.
Yep, because somebody is telling the crew where he is. Now, the
Now,
one-
is there a do they actually delay the shots?
what do you mean?
Like if I'm the artillery guy, and I shoot,
It is not
there like
instantaneous.
it's
There is-
okay? That's what I was
Yep.
hoping, because
Yep.
I hate games that are like that.
No, there is an arc to it. Now, the one thing and one of the reasons I stopped playing it is because you have a crew, and the starting crews for everybody are like you have two crew members. You have like a captain, and you have like a driver, or like a driver and a gunner, or something like that. And you can level these guys up, and they can get different perks. However, if you assign that crew to a different tank, it doesn't even matter if it's like this, like an upgraded version of your tank. Like if you stayed on the same progression path for that tank, right? They get reset every time.
So they only keep their experience as long as they stay within the exact same tank.
Yes. And so even if you like, you can put like tanks in the garage and not use them, and you can, and so like if you take a crew off of a tank because you bought a new one and you move that crew to the new tank, you have to either, you can do for free, you can assign the crew to them for free, but they'll only be at 50% of their trained level. Or you can spend some of the in-game currency and they can be at 75%. Or you can pay real money
They get about 100.
and the crews will be at 100%. And what sucks is if you move them back to the previous tank that they were on, you have to do that same crap over again. So when the crews move, they get reset.
Even if it's back to a tank they were already on.
Yes. And
That's stupid.
It is stupid. Totally agree. And that's one of the reasons that Jason and I stopped playing World of War tanks, and we moved over to a game called War Thunder. Now War Thunder does two things right. One, it's all planes. At the moment, it is all planes. They are adding tanks and they are adding battleships in the future. But at the moment, it's all planes, and it's very much scratches that Call of Duty itch. When you kill a guy, you see the experience bonus that you get when you kill him.
Okay.
It pops up on the screen just like an arcade shooter does, just like it does in Call of Duty. You can see like,
So be like brrr, bang, 100 points plus
Yep,
100.
exactly.
Scrolls up the screen.
and you can get like, it'll be like plus 100, and it'll be like team or like fighter savior, and then you'll get like another 1,000 experience, or stuff like that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This
Now-
is a PC game also, I'm
It's a
guessing.
PC game, and it's also a launch PlayStation 4 title that is free to play.
I might play on a PlayStation 4, but I don't have the PC to play these games.
But the controls on the PC are dead simple for like a flying game. Like you might think, oh my god, this is crazy, because some flying games can get really stupid with their controls. This is not like that. The way it works is you point the mouse at your target, and your plane will fly in that direction. and it will automatically adjust the flaps and the rudders and all that stuff to.
So like Star Fox.
Yes, it is like Star Fox. That's what I tell Jason. I said this reminds me of playing Star Fox with it's Star Fox meets Battlefield, is how it feels. Okay. And so you point the plane where you want to go, and when you lock onto a target, they put like a little bead in front of the target that says you're supposed to aim here.
Aim at this little red circle, and he'll fly into the bullets.
Yes, exactly. So they help you out with that. And
now, what kind of planes are these? Are these like jets, or are they like prop planes?
There's 20 levels to this game versus the 10 in World of War Tanks.
Okay.
The higher level planes are like Vietnam jet fighters.
Okay. Now here's my problem.
Okay.
If I'm facing a guy, if I just start the game tomorrow, and I'm facing a guy who's been playing for a couple months, and he has like a basic jet, does he automatically smoke my shitty little prop plane?
All right. This is what Jason and I have been trying to figure out since we started playing. Okay. When you start playing, all the countries, and they have the same countries that, I mean, the World of War Tanks and War Thunder are the exact same damn thing on paper. And World of War Tanks also has World of War planes, which is how we found out about War Thunder. They're identical games. They're both free to play. They both have the same selection of fighters, blah, blah, blah. Just War Thunder is more arcadey. Now, what happens is when you start the game, you get 3 planes for every nationality that's in. So you get 15 planes to start, and they're all called reserve planes. They're just the lowest of the low level planes. And when you start, you won't play against anybody that's not in those planes.
Okay.
Like you will not be, and so if you're reserve level plane, you won't play with anyone that's higher than level like 1, maybe 2. So you will never play against somebody in a jet with a reserve plane. In fact, Jason and I are playing with level 7s and 8s, and we have not seen a jet yet. Like it just doesn't happen.
What levels do you have to get to for a jet?
They're like, I think they're over 15. And
so you think there's some kind of filter system keeping those people
There
out?
is definitely a filter system, and you can see it. But the problem is Jason and I don't know what information they're taking. Okay, so you have your pilot you have your player score, which has a level assigned to it. Mm-hmm. Like right now, my pilot, myself is like level 8 or 9. Okay. And then each nationality has its own level to it. So like my Chinese and Russians, I think, are still like level 1 and 3.
Because you haven't used them too much?
Right. And then the Brits, the Americans, and the Germans are level like between 5 and 7.
Okay.
And so when you start a game, it says like you're playing in level 5 to 6. Like it just doesn't, it shows you like level 0, level 1 to 2, level 3 to 4, 5 to 7, all the way down to like 20. And it shows you how many people are playing in each bracket. But we don't know if that's like taking my score, like my experience score, or if it's taking like into account like the level of planes that I have or the amount of planes that I have unlocked. Like we don't know what it is, but we've never been outclassed.
Is there a way for you to join the other person's game? Or do you have to hook up together and then join into a game?
You hook up together and then go.
My problem is say me and you were playing on the PS4.
Okay.
If it stays the same it is now, which I highly doubt it will probably change, go through lots of different changes. You've been playing more than you're a few levels above me.
Right.
Does that mean I can't play in your game? Because your guys would smoke?
Nope. Here's what happens. Now this is the nice thing about War Thunder, right? You still have pilots. Your pilots do not reset when they move to a new plane.
Okay, so you can just put your experienced pilots into a shittier plane.
Yes. So I can go back to like the crop dusters that you start with, and my crews I'll have better control over my plane than you will.
But you'll still be running the same hardware.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it is it's just nice that your crews don't reset. And the planes have experience bonuses attached to them. So like some planes will grant you like a 10% reward, or some planes grant you like 100% reward. Or if you can buy planes with real money, and they give you like 160% reward.
Good God.
Now, I have spent $9 on this game. Like this game, to me,
bastard.
I've spent maybe 20, somewhere between 20 and 30 hours playing this game. Jason and I usually play for about 2 or 3 hours every other night or so. And we have a lot of fun with it. We have not spent money on planes. We've spent money on the premium account.
And what does the premium account do?
It gives you like, you get like 200% gold, like in-game money reward for each mission that you finish. So like instead of getting like, I don't know, like 1,000, you get like 3,000 gold or something like that. It's like 200% experience bonus too as well. It's like the way the game is meant to be played. So like when you kill stuff in the game, instead of it saying like 100 experience points, it says like 1,500 experience, and you're like, yeah, I got 1,500 instead of like immediately like 100 experience points.
So I should join in without the premium account and then smoke both of you. I would just have to kill 10 times more planes than you.
Yeah, and it's really weird because I've spent money. You buy them by the day, and it's less. It's 100. Here's how the breakdown is. It's $1 gets you 150 in-game tokens. 1 day of play costs 100 tokens. Like 1 day of the premium account costs 100 tokens.
So if you buy,
it's less than $1 a day.
So if you spend $2, you get 3 days.
Actually, if you buy, like 3 days is something like 200 gold. Like the more you buy, they give you a discount on it.
Okay.
But I have not spent anything on the planes. I've just been using the premium account to boost the experience that I get through playing. And Jason and I have just been having a lot of fun. It's not a hard game. Like I said, it's not a hard game. Jason and I are often in the top 50% of people that we're playing with.
You're never in the top 50%.
And it's a lot of fun.
Shenanigans.
When we started playing, Jason and I were just like, we're going to go do our own thing. I'm going to be a bomber. Okay, you're going to go fly over there and drop some bombs, and I'm going to go over here and get myself shot at and die a whole bunch of times. And then I slowly started realizing, we should probably play as a team. And so what'll happen is he and I will, like, because there's domination. They've got domination, they've got ground attack. Ground attack is just, you have to clear out all the targets on the ground in order to win. Or take down every single enemy plane.
Now, say your plane gets taken down, you're dead for the match?
No. Like I said, you start with 3 planes, okay? And so you get to pick from, you get down once, you get another plane that you have. You down that one, you get another plane that you have. You down that one, you're out. Now you can get up to 6 planes in a session. The first 2 planes you have to buy with the fake money, like not real world money, but the in-game currency. The last slot that you can unlock, you have to spend real money on, which Jason and I have not done, because 5 planes is more than enough time for us to finish rounds. And you can have any mix. You can do like fighter jets or bombers or all fighters. And there's upgrades for all the different planes. Like they get faster, they get better guns, they get better ammo.
Now, do you pick what your assortment of planes is before?
Yes. So you pick your rotation. So you can have, like, I've got like a Spitfire Mark 1, a Spitfire Mark 2, and I can't remember what it's called. But I have
Spitfire Mark 3.
Well, I actually do have a Mark like 5 or 6 now unlocked. But you cannot mix and match nationalities.
So if you're playing a match, I have to play with my America team or my British team, or
right. You have to have your planes that you have will all be American, but I can pick my British team and have all British planes. You just can't. You can't pick 5 different. You can't pick one.
I can't be like, I got one American, one British, one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now they did say that the PS4 version is going to be they're going to have cross-play with the PC. So, and my account should carry over, so I should have all my stuff when I log in on the PS4.
Well, some of it you paid real money for, kind of. It should.
But here's
you would hope so.
But I paid real money for the game on the computer. And I only spent $9 and got like I said, like 25 hours worth of play out of it. I would not be. And Jason and I have a lot of fun. Every once in a while, we'll go and play as the low-level planes. Because one, they're way more maneuverable than the higher level planes.
Well, yeah, because you're moving slower.
And the maps change depending on your difficulty, like your skill level. So like when you're starting off, you're not flying in a lot of mountains. It's all flat land, so you don't have to worry about crashing into anything while you're flying around, except for the ground. And they have like weather effects and night. I've done a couple of missions at night, and it's funny because you have a chat window, and I heard a bunch of people bitching about it because you can't see anything. That I was just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, because I can see everything just fine. Turn your brightness up on your TV, on your monitor. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it on the PS4. The only issue I have is the controller. Kind of like with World of War Tanks, I tried a 360 controller on War Thunder on my computer. Horrible.
Instantly couldn't play it.
Horrible. I don't understand. I hope that they tweak it or they optimize it in such a way that it just works. I don't understand why they don't just go with the simplified control where my stick just moves the reticle and the plane goes in that direction. If they do that, awesome. But if they don't, I don't know that. Or if they don't have keyboard and mouse support on the PS4 like they do on the PS3, I don't know if I'll be able to play it. But yeah, that's been my experience with the free to play stuff. Do you have one last thing that we can talk about? Because Joe, we did play a game.
I think there's some breaking news, and it's not April 1st.
Wait, what?
Nintendo announces the 2DS.
Yeah, that's news. I was saving that.
Ka. Do we need to talk about it now?
Well, I was going to talk about Payday 2.
Okay.
Because we played that and you did something absolutely hilarious.
Would you guys play it on a computer? Or?
They had a time trial on the PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to play it for an hour.
Okay. I've seen the trailers and stuff. I get the gist of it.
Okay, so it's like a Left 4 Dead. For anyone that doesn't know,
Left 4 Dead without the zombies.
It's Left 4 Dead without the zombies. 4-player co-op. You're robbing stuff in Washington D.C. Now, Joe and I had never played this. I don't know, Joe. Was this like your first time playing a first-person shooter on the PS3?
I don't know. Does Rainbow Six Vegas? It's third person most of the time.
Well, most third-person games have first-person player controls, anyways. That aside, we were trying to figure out the buttons as we went because you get the splash screen that says what your buttons do, but some of the buttons
that lasts
have,
all of 10 seconds.
Yeah, and some of your buttons have like do different things depending on like
the situation.
Contextually.
Well, if I'm not doing anything, X just reloads. If I'm doing this opens this drawer, opens the door, or whatever.
But Joe and I understand that you don't put the mask on until the mission starts, until you're ready to start the mission. So,
because as soon as you see the mask,
yeah,
people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. So we're walking around the outside of this bank. We're trying to figure out where the drill is to go pick up the drill, and Joe. All of a sudden, I hear Joe go, "Oh shoot! I put my mask on. Does that start the whole thing for everybody?" And I was like, "Yes, it does." So I just went ahead and put mine on. And Joe went and grabbed the drill, and we walked into the bank. We walked into the bank, and I'm trying to figure out how to get people to like freeze, like hold up their hands, okay? And there's these two tellers in this little room, and I'm trying to like they've got exclamation points over them, about ready to piss their pants, and I'm trying to figure out what button do I push to like tell them to get on the ground. And Joe just comes in from the side,
right trigger.
He just pops both of them in the head. And I was like, what is going on?
Who are you? Oh my god.
I was like, there was blood. There was blood all over that little room. And he sets up, he's like, I gotta unlock this door.
They were standing in my way.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta unlock this door. So he's over there and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? And I'm just like, the alarms are going off now. And I'm like, I'm still in shock because Joe just in cold blood just murdered two people. It's if he had done it once I'd be like, oh, okay, accident, but he killed both of them. It wasn't like, oh, wrong button. No, it was
headshots.
Oh my
god,
god,
it's definitely not right trigger. Let me try it again. Bang. Nope, still not right trigger.
Assassination style.
I didn't know what was happening, and then he unlocks the door, and the door just leads into another hallway that we could have just walked to without killing anybody.
They weren't even in my way.
I was so in shock that he just.
That's when you turn to the rest and be like, "That's what happens if you don't get in my way."
So yeah, but
So besides that, how was it?
okay, we didn't, because we only got to play for an hour. There wasn't a whole lot of time to spend in like the nitty gritty of all of it.
And really looking at the menus or how the upgrade paths, or really learning the controls or how to do all of the things.
I have a
with,
question about
you
the
do with
upgrade pass. Is that just within that single game, or is it connected to your individual person?
It's your person,
Okay.
and you can, excuse me, you can.
So
mix
I can deck out my guy to be a safe cracker.
Yes, and not only that, you can. I didn't find this out because Joe and I found this out. I found this out from listening to people talk about it. Just because you go down a particular skill tree, you're not locked into that. It's just like Borderlands where you can respec on the fly. Like you have to do it before you go into a mission. But let's say you go in and you get in a lobby and everybody's playing as the same character as you. You might
Shit, we got no one here that can crack a safe now.
Well, but it doesn't really matter because it seemed in the two missions that Joe and I did where you crack a safe, they give you the drill. So I don't know that there was a skill that helped you with the drill. Like
maybe it's maybe it's like, ooh, this can do it quieter, this can do it.
Well,
whatever.
some of them there's like Ghost where you can walk around a little more unassuming and you can disable cameras, and then there's like guys that are actually meant to stand guard like out in front of the bank, and then there are people that do different things. But it's like if you got in a lobby where everyone's playing as the same thing, you can just quickly respec yourself to be somebody that's not them, so you can actually help out. You can, again, we weren't able to get into the nitty gritty of this, but you can upgrade, you can custom design your own masks, I think, to a certain.
Yep, it looked like it.
To a certain degree,
I couldn't figure
you
out how to
can.
do it.
And you unlock, one of the unlockable things are different like colors of paint and patterns and stuff like that for your mask. There, you can upgrade all the guns with like silencers and more ammo clips, and you get like one skill point every mission. And it's kind of like if you go straight up the tree, it's probably like one skill point to go up the tree, but then you can upgrade each skill multiple times. So like to unlock something, it costs 1, but if you want to upgrade it again, it costs 2, and then to do it the third time, it costs 3. So to upgrade it in its entirety, it probably costs like 5 points. I really liked what I played. There were definitely some performance issues associated with it that kind of made it kind of janky. One of the things that Joe said he liked was the lack of the reticle.
That felt good.
With hip firing, there was no reticle on the screen to tell you where you were aiming, so they forced you to use the iron sights.
Just like real life.
Right. I question whether or not there were any sniper rifles in the game, so maybe I could play a guy that sits up on a building like across the street or on top of the bank, to cover like an escape route or something like that. We did like, I think in the hour we got like 3 or 4 missions in. I know we got stopped in the middle of one because my timer ran out. And that stuff's cold, man. They don't let you finish the round that you're in. It's just you're done.
Dashboard. I would like to know, and I kind of got the sense that we did the one bank heist mission, I think 2 different times, and with new skill points, it started to change a little bit, and I hope that if you get enough skill points that eventually in some of the missions you could do it so skillfully that the alarms don't go off, the cops don't come, and nobody dies. Like,
you can do a perfect run, so to speak.
I think I think
maybe not totally
that.
perfect.
I think you can do that. It's just a matter of like it's just a matter of like who you're playing with. Are you playing with someone that's going to just walk in and murder 2 innocent people? I don't know.
Like easy there, Mr. White.
Are you playing with somebody that's going to accidentally put on their clown mask in front of the bank? I don't know. But there's
definitely a feel of the Joker heist mission from the beginning of the Batman movie.
Of Batman.
It's like a rip off of that in a good way. Like, hey, this would be a game that I would enjoy playing. Now I haven't paid too much attention. Is that a $60 buy the disc game?
It is I believe it is $40. It's $40 on PSN, so it's probably $40 in the store too. I don't know if there is a physical copy of it though. Again, this is a nice nod to PC gaming because 1, it's $30 if you get it on the PC because there is no physical copy for it on the PC. The other nice thing that Steam does with their multiplayer games is they will give you, like with Payday 2, you can get 4 copies of the game for $80. And you can gift the other 3 out to 3 other
that's
people
awesome.
that you want to
Or
play with.
We can all give each other $20 and
Well, yeah,
give one person 20 and buy it.
That would be the idea. Like there is no option for that on console, and I think I think the reason it is $40 on the 360 and the PS3 is because there is a physical disc. That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing that I can figure out, because they can't have a pricing discrepancy with what's on store shelves versus what they offer, because they don't want to give up that space. But I did not check today when I was at Best Buy to see if they have a physical copy of Payday 2. I do agree with you, Joe. If it was like, I would probably pick it up. If it was 30, I would probably really pick it up. I have a feeling that with PlayStation Plus, it'll probably eventually be $20 or free.
Yeah, but by that point, you'll have your PlayStation 3 unhooked, and
exactly. So that doesn't mean I
I'll
can't
have to talk you into hooking it back up.
That doesn't mean I was gonna say that doesn't mean I can't hook it back up. It's not gonna be my primary. I'm not gonna use it anymore. So, yeah, that was our excursion into Payday 2. Whew. It was fun.
You all right? You gonna make it?
It would be a lot more fun. I'm in my hot box again. The green room is hot. Getting sticky in here. I would really like to have played it with, like, because it's always 4 people. So it's you and like 3 computer control guys, or like
so it's just like
2 other,
just like Left 4 Dead.
Exactly.
If there's not 4 human players there will be 4 people. Now, how is the AI for the
awful, terrible?
Yeah, it was awful. They were like always in your way or not protecting you.
Because the one thing I remember from Left 4 Dead is the AI was either shitty or cheating.
Yeah.
Depending on which side you were on.
To be honest with you, it was too chaotic to really tell what the AI was doing. All I noticed is that they were saving Joe's ass.
And Joe, after he blew a couple heads off some unsuspecting people.
So the interesting thing that we never really got to try out either is the longer you stay in the heist area, it escalates, kind of like a Grand Theft Auto type situation.
Yeah. The more stars you earn.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything that showed you what your scale. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of time to focus on it.
Maybe there's like audio cues or something. Or it's just the different kind of police that are coming after you.
Right. So when you die, I do know that it's not that we experienced it, but just from listening to other things, when you die, you exchange hostages to get your players back. So if you walk into a bank and you murder everybody,
that's less chances for you to respawn.
And you die, you don't get to respawn because you have nothing to barter with. But if you like throw some guys on the ground and zip tie them, if someone dies, and then you give up that hostage to get your partner back.
Who gives them up though? The person people who are still alive?
Again, we didn't get to see it.
Okay.
So maybe just a button prompt shows up that says give up a hostage to
get this player back, or does the person themselves be like, you want to get back in, you got to give up some hostages?
Yeah,
because it'd be really shitty is if everyone else had to stop what they were doing to come release a hostage.
Yeah,
be like, Joe, I love you to pieces, man, but you died for a reason.
And if you have hostages, they're less likely to come in the building as well.
I would like the opportunity to move those people that you zip tie down. I didn't find a button that let me pick them up in human shield or pick me up and drag them. And
Joe wants to make a firing squad.
I want to make a pile of bodies in front of that drill.
I don't know, it was just so weird. I guess it was just a shocking way to start playing that game, because Joe has said, I just remember hearing Joe talk about his experience with talking about Saints Row and making himself and feeling bad for doing certain things, and here he is walking in and just I didn't even think after that, didn't I even hear you say something about feeling kind of bad for killing cops?
You might have,
but not those.
I think
those bank tellers.
But it was after that, and I kind of made a joke about it. I was like, I think it's a little late to feel bad for anything, because you just headshotted, murdered, painted a teller's room with blood. I don't. It's just,
these people weren't even coming to kill you like the cops are.
And I understand that it was completely by accident, because, like I said, we were learning the controls and stuff. It was just so shocking. I was like,
dude, that was not by accident.
Well, the first one probably was. Come on.
So when you ran up against the cops, as soon as the cops saw you, did they start shooting?
Yes.
Or are the cops try? See, that's the one thing I never liked about like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. It's just
Now they don't seem to have like, X-ray vision.
oh well, that's good at least. So they can't just so if you're hiding in a room, they won't just immediately come to that room.
Oh no, they will. They'll come walking right in past you. The AI of the police is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Well, no, I'm saying so, but you said that the AI doesn't have X-ray vision. Do they always know where your character is?
No, at least not that I noticed. I noticed like a cop standing behind me, kind of like something you'd see in BioShock more often than I was like, like they come in and stop and stare at you and then go, "Oh, I'm supposed to be shooting you," but then you've already shot them.
That happened a lot.
So, but it was fun. I would really like to have the opportunity to play it with 4 people at some point in the future.
I would really like to play it not in a rush.
Yeah, that was that.
Not
that,
with an hour time limit.
Yeah, like there was really no. You just couldn't get into it. So, but okay, now let's talk about Joe's April Fool's joke. Which is, yes, Joe, there is now a $130 Nintendo 2DS set for release alongside Pokemon X and Y.
My God.
Okay, so
Now,
what is the point of this thing?
It is not a clamshell. It is basically they're using the leftover components from the standard 3DS, the small one. And it's basically a wedge shape. Like I said, it does not fold on itself. And it is a non 2D screen. Plays both, DS and 3DS.
You mean a non 3D?
Yes, but it will play all 3DS games. It just won't play them in 3D. Now,
And how many screens do you have?
2.
2, okay.
So
imagine taking the 3DS
And leaving it
then
open.
laying it totally flat and like getting rid of the hinge, and that's about what it is. And it's thicker.
So
at
it's
the
this.
top.
Wait, so
and
it's this
skinnier at the
big
bottom.
awkward square?
here
It's a big square.
Here is a link. But yeah, there was a lot of outrage over it this morning when I woke up on Twitter. But
I can look it up or not.
I didn't. Someone actually brought up the fact that it'd probably be a lot. This is for kids that are going to go out and buy Pokemon. That's what this is for. It is not for anyone that already has a 3DS that can turn the 3D off. It is strictly for Pokemon. And it looks a little more indestructible than the 3DS maybe. Because it doesn't have a hinge.
No moving part.
Exactly. There's no moving parts on it to break other than the triggers.
Oh my god, this thing looks ugly as hell. Oh my god.
And the other thing about it too, someone brought up the idea that this is kind of manipulative, right? Because to a parent, you go out, you have your kid has a 3DS, and you go out to the store, that you can't really get you might not be able to get your parents to buy a 3DS XL because they'll look at it and be like, that's the same thing you already have. But this looks different than what they already have. So it could persuade some parents to get this for their kids.
How are you supposed? Okay, from what I'm looking at it, the buttons are kind of like halfway up the sides of the thing.
But you're supposed to grip the whole thing. It doesn't.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to? Isn't the bottom screen the touchscreen?
Sometimes.
So I have to let go completely with one hand.
You have to do that anyways.
Yeah, you have to do that anyway.
You can't reach across with your thumbs.
You don't always want to use your thumbs with the.
I don't know. I haven't played a Game Boy in like forever.
I don't really play anything. If I touch the screen, it's usually with my stylus. I don't ever try to touch it with my fingers because I don't want to gunk it all up.
There were on the original, when the I forgot what they call it now. When the original DS came out, there were thoughts that there would be a lot of first-person shooter type games on there, and you would actually hold the system in your 2 hands, but your left thumb would reach across the screen, and the wrist strap even had this little plastic tab, and you'd slide the plastic tab so it would be on the bottom of your thumb, and you would use that to kind of simulate an analog stick and analog.
I thought that was
input on the
supposed to be to
touchscreen.
clean it.
Nope.
I thought that was that's what that was. Whenever I saw that little thumb thing, I just assumed, oh, that's cute. It's to wipe off your fingerprints. That's actually, that's stupid.
You know how they could have made this killer? Because I like my 3DS. Don't get me wrong.
By not making it?
No. I like my 3DS. I really, really do. Luigi's Mansion looks amazing, like in both 2D and 3D. I found that on my 3DS that if I leave the slider, like the 3D slider to turn it on or off, if I leave it on its lowest setting, it looks amazing. Like I would, the games look really good with just a tiny little hint of 3D. Um, However, if they had included the second analog stick,
Oh, exactly.
if they had done that, because yeah,
Oh, like that stupid add-on thing
yes, if
that
they
you
had
could get for the 3DS.
right, if they had put a second analog stick in here where the face buttons are on the right hand side and dropped everything down, like that would have been killer. But then you have developers going, what do I develop for? Not everyone's gonna have this thing.
And I couldn't see the back of it. I don't know if your link has a picture. Where are because there's shoulder bumpers on the 3DS, aren't there?
They're up at the top. You can actually see them in the side picture.
Oh God,
there's just L and R. There are no triggers.
Oh yeah, but they're like little bumpery things. Like, how the hell are you supposed to reach them if they're that high up?
Actually, this looks about as comfortable as the 3DS does, and the 3DS is really comfortable. You wrap your whole hand around it, like you frame. That looks very comfortable, way more comfortable than the Vita. But that's only because this doesn't have a back touch.
That's way more comfortable than the most awkward controller ever.
Well, the Vita isn't bad, except for it has the back touch on it, and you never know what it's going to do. So you have to claw the damn thing, so you don't
can't
accidentally hit. Yeah, you can't rest it in your hands. You have to grip it with your fingertips, which is just annoying to me. But $130. I mean, when Pokemon comes out, you can get this. Like kids can.
And
get
how
this.
much is a 3DS right now?
It's like $179.
Still too much for me to buy. I want one kind of bad, but I can't afford that.
There's nothing exciting enough on that for me to want one. I get plenty enough mobile gaming on my cell phone.
I hate gaming on my cell phone. I hate it. I cannot stand it.
Even though half the games I play, you fucking got me started on.
Yep. But that's why
Sure.
I stopped playing them, because I cannot stand it. Now, I don't know. But you can get this and like the newest Pokemon for the same price you can get just the 3DS by itself. So I understand why they did this.
Yeah, it seems like an awkward thing that seems very unportable to me.
Yes. No, that I give you. How are you supposed to carry this thing around without damaging that
in your
screen?
pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, like of your cargo pants.
That fits in.
I'll put it right next to my iPad.
I'm sorry. No, that fits in Jenkos. That does not fit in jeans. That fits in Jenkos.
I said
Anyone remember
cargo
those?
pants. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember those?
No.
Like the super baggy pants in the late 90s?
In the late 90s, I was like 10.
Really?
I was born in 87.
You're a baby.
Joe, do you remember these?
They're
They're like
too old guys
they're
talk
like
about
skater
this.
pants. Like the skater pants, like the super huge, like they were they weren't like saggy, they were just like really baggy, like the ankle of them opened up like over the shoe, like guys could wear them without even having to show their shoes, and like they were
Like
just,
bell bottoms.
My students
yeah.
wear those now. They're just called super big pants. They
Right,
buy
well-
like 48-inch waists. And
okay, back at the end of the 90s, the late like 97, 98, they were called Jenkos, JNCO.
Made
There's
ever popular by Hammer.
There was a whole line of them. I mean, I had a couple pair of them, but there was like a whole line of them.
Please, are there any pictures of you wearing
Actually, I didn't have the outlandish ones. The ones I had actually kind of looked like the pants that I have now. It was just like you couldn't get jeans that were that loose before. But I don't know, like this would not fit in anyone's pocket. I mean, I don't even put my Vita in my pocket because the screen is unprotected. So, the other thing that Nintendo announced today was a price drop for the Wii U.
Who cares?
oh, never good when it happens that early.
They dropped it $50. So now all versions of it are $2.99. Even the one that comes out next month with Zelda is $2.99.
What Zelda?
Wind Waker HD.
Oh, don't care.
Now this is cheap enough that after I pick up my PlayStation 4, I can actually run this by my my justification meter, which is my wife.
You already had one. It
Yeah,
didn't.
I had one
the
when there
system
wasn't-
didn't get better.
No, I had one when there wasn't one that I bought one because of Nintendo's promises to release games that I wanted to play before March. And then all of them got delayed until now. And I didn't feel like holding on to the Wii U when I could be playing a Vita. So
But okay, let's rewind to the episode where you talked about all the things you didn't like. All those things are still the same. You're still gonna have to lean crazily off your bed to get the pick up the signal.
I can even now I could put the Wii U in my bedroom. I mean, I have a TV stand in there, and I can just leave it in there. But that aside, like they released like the virtual console, so you could play Super Metroid on that little handheld thing. And I like Pikmin. I love the Pikmin series.
I've heard
And
nothing but bad things about Pikmin 3.
I wanted to see Yahtzee did a thing on Pikmin 3. I haven't watched it yet. I just saw the link to it the other day.
It has been described to me as a game length tutorial. It will constantly remind you what the buttons do and how to do it.
I wonder if there's a way to turn that off.
I've heard that you don't play it with the game you do not play it with the gamepad. You play it with the Wiimote and nunchuck.
Well, that's weird.
Because it was originally a Wii game.
Yeah, but that's still awkward. Let me take a Wii U game and let me take the U part out of it.
Actually, it's not. That's the thing. I never found the controls awkward with the Wii. They never had anything that I wanted to play.
Besides Wii Sports.
Yeah, exactly. Where
best game came in the box.
So, but I don't know. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
I just want to say one thing. You had such a good segue. I didn't want to ruin it before from your Grand Theft Auto to your free to play games. I don't know about this, Joe. I'm way more excited for GTA Online than GTA 5. I could care less about GTA 5.
Both. I'm equally excited for both.
My fondest memories of GTA 4 was my online experiences with other people. I could give a shit about the fucking campaign of that game. My favorite times were going to the airport and drag racing while online. Finding out that if you shot out your wheels, you'd actually go faster.
I just have to ask,
helicopter jousting? I don't know. I don't care. I would just play that game. There's one of those games I would play. It was like one of the only games I would play online without a headset because I didn't really care who I saw playing with.
Just playing with 15 other random people.
Exactly.
Now, the interesting about GTA Online is that you have your own crib. So I'm wondering how that game is going to work. Like,
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for it too. Like I
I'm
said,
so excited.
It's kind of
just can't.
I wish Shawnzy though, if they went 3-player co-op for the campaign, done. But the fact that they're not,
if they told me I could take two of my friends, play and rob banks in a GTA world.
You can, but that's what GTA Online is. You can
rob
sounds
banks like it.
But that's what I'm saying. Is there any way for me to get GTA Online without buying GTA 5?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So, all right. Anything else?
No, the 2DS
has nothing to do with the video games, but how you guys liking the Affleck?
I'm okay with it.
When I first heard it, I laughed so hard. I just imagined Batman saying everything with a Boston accent.
I think that's what everybody did.
But
I only remember hearing that accent in Good Will Hunting.
Well, everyone's judging him on movies that he made 10 years ago. That's
yes, I'm not judging. Like I don't like that. Like, oh god, Daredevil was horrible, stuff like that. At first, I laughed after the initial giggle got over with. I was kind of like, when they first told me Heath Ledger was going to play Joker, I thought that was the dumbest thing, and it was going to be stupid. And then I saw Heath Ledger's Joker, so I'm willing to give him a chance. He gets one trailer to convince me. One trailer for him actually in the bat suit.
Yeah.
And talking. Not like how trailers go for these superhero movies now. Like the first two don't show anything.
I think in the first trailer you'll see him in the bat
I
suit.
think they have to get any kind of enthusiasm for this. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see that. But like I think I'm thoroughly enjoying the memes and the tweets at the moment.
So
some of them are hysterical.
Joe, did you say the 2DS was going to be your son's first handheld?
I did. It's going to be 3 years or more, but that'll probably be the one that I get.
See, it does look sturdy.
It looks extremely sturdy.
Yeah.
Except for those screens being open like that. But you know what? The Game Boy was. The Game Boy had screens right on the top.
Well, yeah, but but I'm pretty sure this screen was like below like 10 layers of plexiglass or some stupid thing. Because I've dropped that thing 1,000 times and I never cracked a screen. But
Well,
I
the
can
other thing
certainly
is
crack a
these
3DS
screens
screen.
don't look like they're flush with the surface, so it looks like you could you could toss it and throw it face down. Not like whip it or crack it or anything like that, but you could set it down face down without damaging the screen. So.
It almost doesn't look like you could classify it as a handheld though. It looks so bulky.
Mm.
I would almost consider it like a
This is deceptive
portable
though.
console.
It's deceptive though because it's not using the XL screens. It's the standard DS screens, and those were tiny. Like,
it definitely looks like the screens are the smallest part of that thing.
well, I'm just saying, like I'm saying the picture is deceptive because it doesn't look like it's any wider than the first 3DS, and the first 3DS was already tiny. Like I'm just saying it's not as big as I think.
Don't worry. A year from now, there's going to be the 2DS compact. It's going to be a 2DS that can fold in half.
The adults on Twitter are just saying, I figured out how to turn the 3D off on my DS a long time ago. So, but thanks for doing it for me, Nintendo. All right. Okay. That's it for this episode of Off the Cuff. If you want to get in touch with us and leave us excuse me. If you want to get in touch with us and leave us your comments about anything that we've talked about tonight, you can get a hold of us on our parent site at geekcastradio.com or send us emails at feedback@geekcastradio.com. Just leave the episode title in the subject bar so it gets to us. You can find myself, Michael Powers, on Twitter, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network at BoothNinja81. Shanzi?
I've been Shanzi Brown. You can find me on Xbox at Weapon87. You can find me on Twitter at Shanzi Brown. That's pretty much it, right? You'll be able to find me on PlayStation here in a few months, hopefully, if everything goes right.
Joe?
I was Joe Reed, the cold-blooded bank teller killer. And you can find me on
Got a nice ring to
Facebook.
it. God damn.
That was nice. You can find me on Facebook at Geek Stuff Garage Sale.
So how much will it cost you to change your names on all of your consoles to cold-blooded bank teller killer?
That might be too many characters.
We can abbreviate.
I'm not.
How about for your license plate?